A side-scroller video game is a game viewed from a side-view camera angle, where the screen follows the player as they move left or right. The first side-scroller platform game was Jump Bug, a platform shooter released in 1981. The player controls a bouncing car and navigates the jump on various platforms like buildings, clouds, and hills. So, my question is, do you guys like side-scroller video games? If you do, some probably come to mind, such as Mario, literally one of the most recognizable games ever. Or maybe you think of Sonic. Or perhaps the cesspit known as Terraria. Though my favorite side-scroller game is Roboman for the NES. Riveting gameplay, I know. But what makes Intrusion 2 different from all these other side-scrollers? Well, there's guns. Lots and lots of guns. Intrusion 2 is made by one guy, so for being formal here, it's an indie game. His name is Aleksey Abromenko? Something like that. I don't speak Russian. Better known online as VAP Games. He's an independent Russian programmer and a video game developer. He started programming in September of 2007 during his studies. In college, he would make his first game called Seviborg, which was his first project and overall really simple game. Then, just a year later, he would make Intrusion. Intrusion 1 is also a fairly simple game. It's just a shoot-'em-up side-scroller, basically what Intrusion 2 is, but it's a starting point for the Intrusion franchise. The story of Intrusion 1 is pretty simple. You play as our red scarf-wearing Giga Chad. He lands on a reserved planet occupied by a hostile military corporation, conducting forbidden weapon research. So you do what any sane person would do. You kill them all, ending up on a missile fighting a giant robot hedgehog. After killing it, you glide down from the missile, and that's where Intrusion 2 picks up at. Before we get into the game, I want to say this game's story is almost non-existent. According to VAP, there was supposed to be a story at some point in development, but it later got scrapped. So I'll take it upon myself to fill in the gaps where I think characters should be talking with some voice acting. So with that out of the way, let's get into our first level of Intrusion 2.
I really like launching these barrels. We're going to be launching a lot more barrels. So I think next time we get like an AK-47, 100-round magazine, incendiary ammunition, like 50 barrels.
Man, I hope I don't ever have to see that Metal Sonic looking ass guy ever again. Now I'm off. Let's fight an epic battle. Face off and spin the metal. No time for doubt now, no place for backing down.
In most side-scrollers, you go right of the screen to make progress throughout the level. Well, what if you go left? Well, this game has quite a lot of Easter eggs, so if you go left you'll find these suicide bomber robots, and going near them will spawn this gun into existence, giving us our first new weapon in Intrusion 2, the Holy Machine Gun. I cannot stress enough how useful this weapon is. It is literally going to be your lifeblood for the rest of the game. It is the perfect weapon. Ammo is easy to find and it does above average damage, and has good fire rate. Overall, it's A tier. Too bad the starting pistol we get is pretty weak. You can dual wield it, but it doesn't really help that much. The gun is useless unless you're in the first level or you're actually just fully out of ammo. As we start heading to the right, we find our first puzzle. It's pretty simple. We just move a boulder over there so we can step on it, and yeah, it's not much, but it's honest work. We engage with these silly little roly-poly robot things that are here, and they're pretty easy to kill, and you just kind of go on with it. Too bad there's an avalanche, and yep, you just keep on killing these things. Oh wow, our first human enemy, and they're dead. Humans in this game, at least the basic ones, are extremely easy to dispose of by yourself. If there's a lot of them, you basically get ISIS firing squad, which you know is not good, because you'll die and you gotta start back at your last checkpoint. Checkpoints in this game are also decently interesting. They're just kind of put around the levels and you just walk past them and now that's your checkpoint. You can't go to a certain checkpoint in a level if you quit out of the game. You're gonna have to restart it entirely, so If you start playing a level, make sure to finish it before you leave, or you'll have a problem. Anyway, this game has some weird physics that you can take advantage of, and I paid attention in physics class like 70% of the time, so I know what I'm talking about. Basically, you see this bridge? Yeah, it doesn't work like a normal bridge. It kind of moves all wonky-like. And after passing that bridge, what do you find? Another bridge! But wait, there's a bomb exploding it, and you meet a new enemy type, and yeah, he's dead. The jetpack guys in this game kinda suck. They are annoying to aim at, but wow, they are weak. The coolest thing about them, really, is how after they die, they just kinda ragdoll around, which I find kinda quirky, though.
So, congratulations, jetpack guy. You get the Roboman stamp of approval.
As you start moseying your way down to this cave area, see these icicles that I kind of want to break because there might be someone behind it? And wow, there's boxes. Boxes will be your main way of getting loot. And one of these roly-poly guys just kind of show up to ruin my time. But hey, what's this new weapon I got from the box? Let's test that out on this little guy that I found crawling around. After committing to the Intrusion 2 genocide route, I leave. But hey, that new gun is pretty cool. The railgun is just alright, low ammo but high damage, not my thing. But if you like being the one-hit wonder, go use it I guess. Your experience with this gun will go as followed. Wow, I'm one-shotting everything and I'm doing a really good job. To now being a sitting duck and out of bullets because the game only gives you 5 ammo. So yeah, let's throw this thing in B tier. Oh hey look, wacky physics again. The power lines in this game are extremely fun to swing on, and they're good to use when you need to get somewhere high up. After railing this turret and that jetpack guy on a joyride, I realized, hey, I should probably turn around in case there's an Easter egg, and I missed the jump to go over there. Eventually I make it over there, and wow, a bunch of loot and a checkpoint. At least take me out to dinner first, know what I'm saying? After heading back to the right side and railing some men and turrets, I finally reach the end of landing. We start off level 2 named Wolf Winter fighting this thing. Kinda spooky, ain't it? The tentacle monster has 2 attacks. A grab, which is honestly still scares me to this day. Ever since I was a child I've been scared of this thing. And a normal shoot move. I have a personal theory that these tentacle robots are based off the Sentinels from The Matrix. Now, I haven't watched it, though I hear it has John Wick in it or something. So, I don't know, it seems like a small indie film. After fighting the Matrix robot, we get to fight this blue turret thing that seems to be turned off. Kinda weird. Ah, this is more my pace. Fighting humans, and nope, there's another one. I'm gonna just grab these orange health first, and yeah, let me talk about health. Health in this game is broken up to 3 different colors, with green giving you the least amount of HP back, orange giving you a bit more than the green one, and red basically maxing you out. Health can be found in boxes or just by killing some enemies. Anyway, we shoot up some guys, fight another Matrix robot, and up ahead is a funny Indiana Jones reference, and well, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Up ahead is a checkpoint and an enemy. Whoa! Oh my god! A wolf guy! After killing the wolf guy, you get to steal his pet.
Wolf. Whoa. I'm not a furry.
When I rode this wolf in this game back in 2011, 6-year-old me was amazed. The wolf in this game have really weird physics, to be honest. They're kind of unexplainable. They feel kind of flimsy with really delayed controls. Probably the only time physics in this game don't work. I bet it's a wolf battle, which is pretty easy to deal with. And then after that, I have to fight this strange tower wooden thing. I like breaking things, so it's okay, but this level already has so much stalling, it's not really that cool. More turret fighting happens, and whoa, another secret Easter egg. We've got to parkour up this wire, and you find a new gun, and it's literally the best gun in the game. It's just like the normal machine gun, but does double damage. S tier.
You are not supposed to be here. Huh. That's weird.
We go up ahead and fight another Matrix robot, fight jetpack guys, and a roly-poly robot, and a turret. You break icicles, fight another Matrix robot, and then some more humans. And finally, one more Matrix robot to deal with. Personally, to me, Wolf Winter has always been my least favorite level in the game. It tries some cool things, with example the wolf and the Matrix robots, but they just really feel really repetitive and unfun. But trust me, the next level is honestly going to be a good time.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
We start this level with something feeling a bit off. The game gives us a bunch of boxes to loot up with, and our wolf gets scared and runs away. Now, what does this all mean? It's time for our first boss fight. It's against Grabber. Now, this thing's design is actually pretty crazy. It's a military-style jet with giant arms attached to it and a machine gun on the front with some doors on the side, which enemies can pop out of. After killing some of the guys that pop out of the Grabber, he gets a bit angry, and he breaks the bridge harder than Vap did breaking this game's physics engine. The second phase of this boss basically just boils down to machine gun attacks over and over again, which they're fairly easy to dodge, but at the same time, you want to dodge it, but also dodging his fist attacks at the same time, while also shooting his machine gun to break it, so you're kind of just multitasking here. Once that's done, Grabber calls you a naughty boy, then he's trying to pound you into a small paste in the snow. He eventually breaks the snowy little ledge you're on, then he starts summoning more goons. Then you think, it might be a good idea to shoot his thruster on the side of him. You do, he gets angry again and breaks the ledge once more. Luckily, you fall into some buildings this time. Your last objective is to shoot the back thruster, which you do with mainly no problem. Other than the guys, he won't stop spawning. You eventually break it, causing a giant chasing to happen, right out of a slasher film. Your objective now is to break the cockpit. Watching Grabber slowly break apart as he desperately tries to crawl over and kill you is super cool in my opinion. It makes you feel unstoppable, like you just took down this giant beast. A David versus Goliath situation. After looping the killer for a bit, you finally break the glass, making Grabber explode into pieces. Now, the best thing about this boss fight is not the boss itself, but it's how smooth the transition is into the next level, Shattered Slide. Shattered Slide is unironically a top 3 level in this game. The concepts explored here are really unique and very creative. You are literally skiing down a giant mountain, riding the debris of the giant robot you just killed. Now, your job here is to finish off the pilots that were driving Grabber. You take out the first one with mainly no problem other than his annoying grenades that he throws, but then the snowboarding ninjas show up, which is just like, snowboarding ninjas? What? These guys have 2 attacks, a katana slash for close up, and this really annoying rockets they shoot. Before we continue the video, I want to introduce a new segment to this video, Vap Facts. Vap Facts are where we go over fun facts about the creator of Intrusion 2. One time on Twitter, Vap was replying to some fan art made on Twitter for Intrusion 2. In the picture, one of the rocket launchers that the snowboarder ninjas have is next to the Intrusion 2 guy. And Vap said, and I quote, "That's awesome. I should have made the ninja rocket launcher available for the player to use." And yeah, that's the end of this segment. That's probably not going to happen again in the video, but now you know something new. After dealing with them, you see this missile in the background go into the ground, and then here comes a giant robot snake. If there's one thing this game does, it's presentation of enemies. And the way you interact with the world around you, it really makes you feel like you are part of the world and not that the world revolves around you. With seeing the, giant snake robot come in from the back of the area that you're in, and seeing it come down and then come out of the ground, is just a really cool way to visualize that happening. If I'm being honest here, the only other games that really give me that sense of feeling where I'm playing as a person in the world and that the world revolves around me is Half-Life 2, Red Dead 2, the BioShock series, and Dark Souls. It's kind of crazy how with such a small thing, like seeing the snake missile come down from the sky to then come up from below you, made this game just 10 times better. I will just say it's about any game though. Having small details like that is really what makes me feel engaged in the world around me. After you take out one of them, you have to deal with 2 more, which, just one more you have to deal with. And then you gotta deal with more of the snowboarding ninjas, and you have to kill the second pilot. Then after that, you just gotta get rid of 2 more giant robot snakes, and then you're done, Shattered Slide. Onwards to our next level.
My wife took me on a skiing trip one time. I didn't like it.
Establishment, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one thing I really like is how I made it, very symmetrical, and that's the best thing I did about my house. Symmetrical. What the fuck?! Metal Complex is another very unique level, introducing things we've never seen before, like water and fish. These fish guys will try to jump out of the water and bite you, but they can help you sometimes when you accidentally fall into the water and need to get out. You deal with a few goons, and now let's talk about the water physics. They're weird to say the least. Water makes Intrusion Guy kind of bouncy. Well, look, another one of these wooden tower things that are very tedious and annoying to break. I bet it's a cool water puzzle where you just gotta pollute the ocean to get to the other side. On the other side is a building where there are gas cans you can shoot, and they cause a kind of wacky explosion. Fighting inside of a building is kind of weird because this is the first time you're actually doing it in this game, but in the later levels they become a lot more common. You walk up to the top of the building and you press the button to open the door, and then BAM! More roly-poly robots you gotta fight. You shoot some turrets with the railgun because it's really good at dealing with them. Up ahead is another building with a new weapon in it. It's a grenade launcher, which, you know, is kind of broken because it does a lot of damage, has a huge explosion radius, but it has low ammo. So let's just put it in A tier. You do some milk crate parkour, open another chest to do more milk crate parkour. Now we get introduced to the mechs. Mechs come in two styles, a big gun and a missile one, and a small gun and a sword. They're both deadly in different ways. The cool thing about the gun guy is that he drops his big gun, which, you know, is the second best gun in the game, so yeah, S tier. It has low ammo, but it also makes you slower, which is kind of sucky, but it makes you like a truck, so overall, really good. Up ahead, you do an elevator puzzle, which is surprisingly fun to do, actually. You proceed to fight another mech, and then you go up and press the button over there to open the other door. You fight another mech, press one more button, and then you finally leave that building. Now it's a 2v1, 2 mechs versus 1 intrusion guy. You terminate the last of those mechs, you see this wire now, and if you know anything about this game, you know you can go to the left side of the screen to find secrets. You go on this roof, kill a guy, and then you're stalked by a Matrix robot. After you made them go extinct, you grab the box he was guarding. You go back to the right and, whoa, this is a cave. I hope I don't find Herobrine down here.
Hey, how's it going? I've actually got something for you. This is the bread that you asked me to get, and you can now go make me a sandwich.
Welp, I have a feeling this is going to be another boss fight. Come to find out, the boss was not Herobrine. It's a woman with a huge gun. Maku and Dan is a really cool boss fight. Maku being the robot woman, and Dan being the gun. To start the fight, they will grapple towards the ceiling and start firing in alternating shot patterns. Upon their return to the ground, some rocks will fall. They can land on you, causing damage or make the shop loot, so that's pretty cool. After landing, Maku will spin Dan in either clockwise or counterclockwise motion, firing shots while doing so. This will happen for a random amount of seconds before grappling to the ceiling and firing a solid laser to the right side of the arena and then sweeping it towards the left side of the arena. Honestly, that's my favorite move that they do because it's easy to shoot them while they're doing it. After doing that, they'll grapple around again. Then, Maku will point Dan towards the ground, fire a laser at the ground, causing 4 columns of fire to shoot out of the ground for a couple seconds until lava starts rising to fill the arena. They will grapple to the ceiling, shooting giant grenades to the left and right side of the screen, alternating between them. They will do this until they have fired 7 grenades, after which the lava will go away. She will come back down and start firing Dan for a couple seconds, then finally onto her last stage. The bubble shield she makes is not breakable by any of your own guns, so use bullets to shoot her grenades back at her, damaging her shield bubble. After doing that a couple times, she gets angry and is like, hey, you guys like disco balls? She summons one by shooting a rocket at the ceiling. She then shoots at the disco ball, making lasers go around the entire arena as you have to dodge them. After you break the disco ball, it damages her. She comes back down, summons the lava thing one more time, and then she finally breaks due to the amount of times you shot her.
Whoa, I can get her gun.
Whoa there! Don't touch! Look, I'm telling you, if you try to shoot me, bad things will happen.
Whoa, you can talk. What's your name?
Dan?
Huh. Nice name.
Why, thank you. Maku named me that.
Well, guess what, Maku? Dan is mine now.
Hey, wait, no! Don't do this! You are going to destroy everything! Ah!
Women. Am I right, guys? The Lorax is not gonna be happy.
Somehow the cable company thought that VAP Fact was good enough for a second season, so we're back again for another VAP Fact. When Dan is picked up, he has 9,042 ammo. This might be a reference to the "it's over 9,000" meme. Dan's face when firing a laser is a reference to the "shoop de whoop" meme, and Dan's face when firing grenades seems to be a potato of some sort. Overall, Dan's a pretty quirky guy. Too bad he's dead.
Get me security.
Wait, please! Can I just make one more heartfelt plea?
Okay, what did you want to say?
Oh my gosh, I'm as crazy as my mother!
Oh.
At the start of this level, there's nothing happening. You were just walking around. This game handles tension very well, because if something is not being destroyed or being shot at, then something's wrong. You walk into a building, coming face to face with a stalker. That's actually their confirmed name in the files of this game. These guys are kinda scary, having similar attacks to the Matrix robots, but being a lot more terrifying and stronger. I bet you walk into a building, and wow, you can drive this mech. Honestly, this part of the game is really fun, because I just enjoy using the mechs in battle. You get into a bit of a scuffle with another mech, and then you fight off some more goons. You eliminate a Matrix robot. Up ahead, there's an interesting fight. You basically just shoot missiles back at a mech. Or you can be a Giga Chad like me, and use the Holy Grenade Launcher instead. Come across this Chinese weather balloon looking thing, with a flamethrower on it at the bottom. It kinda has a strange unorthodox design to it, it's really weird. You come across a shipping container with a stalker in it. He pops out just to say hello. You have to loop him for long enough to be able to kill him. Find another mech, you hop into this one, and this one has a missile launcher on it, which I think is cooler than the sword one. As I'm trying to do mech parkour to get out of this place, I accidentally kill my own mech. I eventually do the parkour correctly, and then I'm able to leave this place. But first I have to fight another missile mech and a blue turret. To exit this level, you have to fight one more stalker. I think the stalkers in this game are easily one of my favorite enemies to fight. First, they look cool, but they're also creepy, with the way that their limbs contort and gyrate. Also, them throwing things at you is a great way to incorporate the physics system into this fight. So overall, really good job, Vap. You start Bionic Gear with a fun little elevator puzzle, which is like the 5th one in this game. So, Vap, what's your reasoning for doing this?
I don't know, I was just lazy.
That's what they all say. Now, in this level, they introduce grapple hook mechs, which are personally my favorite version of the mech. A bunch of goons about down from the skyline, like it's a Rainbow Six Siege match, and then you fight one more grapple mech after doing that. You might think, I wonder if I can get over that jump, and no, you can't. You see a water tower and a stalker jumps out of it. But this one's cooler than your average stalker. This one has a tail. You break the water tower, which is just a silly looking thing to watch. It's really weird. Up ahead further is my arch nemesis, the milk carton. Find another Chinese weather balloon, and you just ignore whatever that stuff is. Up ahead is my least favorite part of this game, because it's a huge amount of enemies with annoying parkour. And I literally died like 6 times on different occasions playing through this area. So, yeah, I don't have a great time. After getting to the top of this place, you head to the left. You meet a statue of some wizard or something.
What the hell? Are you some kind of magic stone wizard?
Yep, I am. But I have an important message for you. Your journey might be hard, but the entire world is counting on you. You got this.
Thanks, man, but I gotta go.
Going up ahead is a building where you can drive the grapple mech, which is awesome. Fighting goons in the grapple mech is one of the reasons why I love this level. It's conflicting for me though, because on one hand we have the grapple mech, but on the other hand we have that annoying parkour area. It's a paradox. Up ahead is another stalker, but this one has a new missile launcher on it, which is pretty cool to fight since you are fighting a stalker in a grapple mech, which overall makes the fight pretty dynamic. After killing that one, you go to the right. Dang, another elevator puzzle. Wow. I'm the world's #1 Intrusion 2 fan, and I'm even getting tired of these. Up there's 2 more mechs you gotta fight. Past that you see some more parkour since this game is just turning into a platform at this point. After that you have to deal with 2 more stalkers at the same time, which is actually pretty hard to do. And then after that you have to go up another elevator, and then leave this level in the past. Onwards to the last level of Intrusion 2. Last level of Intrusion 2. We're near the finish line. But what's also near us is this giant robot named Mace. Mace is not the place with the friendly hardware, folks. It's the place where Mace likes to shoot you with lasers out of his eyes. Who does this guy think he is, Henry Cavill? Mace will start the fight with using his laser eyes, sweeping left to right, until he gets bored. Then he'll decide to use his fireball fingers. Too bad I have the most OP grenade launcher known to man. So I take him out pretty easy. After jamming his fingers, he goes back to the laser eyes, but he's a cheeky fella, and he baits me by stopping his laser movement right as I jump. I hate this move. After he does that, he goes back to the fireball fingers again, but this time he's shooting rockets. Great, just what I needed. I eventually go across this bridge and make it to a tower, to seek shelter. hoping for salvation. So Mace just picks up the building with me in it and just starts shaking it around. That's such a cool fight mechanic. It really shows how much bigger Mace is compared to Intrusion guy. He plays bop with the tower for a bit, incentivizing me to go ahead and shoot his fingers. Having Mace shake you around the building is another great example of physics being used well in this game. So anyway, that's one finger gone, and that's a second finger gone. Mace wants to be let into the building now, and starts bombarding me with fireballs and rockets instead of just drop-kicking me into the second dimension. Which is a really good movie, by the way, that's Spider-Verse, which shamelessly rip off 7 years later. After breaking his fingers, Mace goes monkey mode and starts banging the building against whatever that is. Now the only objective is to shoot him in the head. Like a typical American, I agree to that terms and conditions. Mace now will just do a couple attacks he will do at random. One is a punch, the other is a fireball projectile move, and the last one is him dropping a shipping container down, and inside of it is a random enemy type or a mech you can drive, plus some cool loot. This is really just showing off that it's the last level of the game because it's throwing everything the game taught you at you all at once. Also, on the Super Smash Bros. Type beat stage, there's some elevators you can raise and then stand on them. These become really useful later on. Mace will also shoot lasers again. Eventually you'll shoot him enough to where he says, "Man, I'm out of here." Then he tries to zone you out harder than your father trying to zone you out of his life. While he's on top of the tower, he'll do one of two moves: laser eyes or missiles. The homing missiles are pretty annoying to deal with. You just gotta shoot them out of the way, but it's still annoying to deal with. Laser eyes, he'll just get so desperate to the point where he will just break the missiles of his own lasers, just trying to kill you. Next, he'll land back down and start doing my least favorite move that he does. It's very annoying. To go around this laser hand thing, there's just random objects in your way. So this move is just a coin flip whether you get no objects in your way or you're just blocked in, and that's really annoying. He will then just start spamming fireballs, and giving you more cluster to deal with on the screen. But if you call now, he'll give you a mech to use with that for free. He will then start using his silly electric hand move, which is kind of easy to dodge. He'll then cycle back to the laser eyes and punching until he flies away again. This time he'll shoot a different type of missiles that are stronger, but you can shoot them back at him, dealing damage. After a little bit, he goes back to the fireballs, and then laser hands, and at this point, from the amount his head is shaking, he's probably going to have a stroke and die. Well, I guess I was right.
Well, that was easier said than done. I'm taking a vacation.
The game then asks you to post your score. Too bad the servers are broke, so you can't even post your score or look at others. So yeah, we're done with Intrusion 2. Here are my rankings of all the levels in case you guys are curious. But what happens now? Well, VAP has not made a game since Intrusion 2, all the way back in 2011. But has worked on some games that might come out later, like for example, Jetpack Squad. This game VAP has been working on since 2014, but as of 2019, he said the project has been put on hold. He was also posting videos of a 3D game he was making in Blender, it seems like, or some engine like that. I'm assuming Unity, maybe. He was doing stuff in 3D, which is unheard from him. But there has been no news about that either. It seems like VAP has also not been active in Twitter in about a year so far. So, VAP, if you're listening to this is my public invitation for an interview where I interview you. My lawyers will be in contact, and you have 24 hours to surrender the demo for Jetpack Squad to me, or the wrath of God will be the least of your worries. So yeah, that's what VAP's been up to. What about the other guy who made the game possible? George Dzov? Yeah, that last name. He's the guy who made all the music for Intrusion 2, which, may I add, is really good, by the way. George has also been gone for a while, not having posted in 2 years on his Twitter. There's also some unused content in Intrusion 2 that did not make the full release. Shout out to Kian Baloo for posting these, by the way. If you want to check it out, his videos will be in the description below. Sorry for stopping time there, guys, but I need to tell you guys something. As I was making this video, VAP decided to tweet for the first time in 2 years. showing work-in-progress gameplay of a 3D Intrusion game. It's probably just going to be Intrusion 3, but it'd be really cool if he calls it Intrusion 3D as a pun, because puns are funny. Anyway, I'm completely amazed that this happens on the same day I'm about to finish the video. So, yeah. So, in conclusion, Intrusion 2 is a product of its time. A full-out masterpiece of an indie game that 5-year-old me stumbled upon one day, and it's been my favorite game ever since. I can only hope that one day we get to see Intrusion 3. So this has been RoboMan, and I'm signing off. So, what's your guys' thoughts on Intrusion 3?
Intrusion 3? Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Dude, you messed it up a second time! A second time!
Dude, Cookie, it's not
Dude,
that hard.
no,
It's not that hard.
But it's so much funnier. I mean, come on.
Alright.
I know you see somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Live life, breathe air. I know somehow I'm gonna get there
and be so
and feel so
wonderful.
wonderful. It's all for real. I'm telling you how I feel. So
wake up the people of my nation.